The price is only $82 a month. Yeah. I can bring the price down. How much would you like to pay? You want to think about it? Okay, cool. Should I send an email with the prices we talked about? Okay, great. I always try to make my clients happy. I'll call you back next week. Is that okay? You'll follow up with me? Okay, sounds good. Thanks so much for your time. No, that is not what somebody with conviction sounds like. Conviction in life insurance. Do you have it? Are you absolutely certain that the life insurance products that you offer to your clients are going to put them in a better position and everyone you talk to will be better off from having talked to you? Do you carry that feeling with you as you go throughout your day, as you make your calls? That's conviction in this business. You need to have that feeling. And it's not just conviction in the product itself, it's conviction in life insurance telesales. Do you believe this is the path that will give you the fulfillment, the success, the income, the lifestyle, and everything you want in life? Okay, you need to have both of those core into you. You need to have that conviction in order to be wildly successful in this business. And I find that most agents really don't have that, and it affects so many areas of their business. You know, I talk to agents who are struggling every single day, and I hear about they didn't make any sales, or their commissions and their lead spend and all that, it's not adding up in their bank account. But I never hear agents really talk about helping families, like the purpose of this all, that conviction. The agents who have this conviction are the ones who see a lot more success in this business. And I want to talk through that because it affects every area of this business. How you go throughout your day and that weight that you feel is going to affect your business. And let me talk through a couple of things real quick. So Simon Sinek, once said this quote, and I love this. Working hard for something we don't care about is called stress. Working hard for something we love is called passion. Okay? But don't fool yourself. If you're stressed out because you're not working hard or you're not investing in the business, that stress is a result of your inaction. And that inaction is, in most cases, attributed to your lack of conviction. And don't fool yourself if you are making money in this business, guys, that you actually care. Like if you don't have that conviction and you're doing great just because you have high activity, you're a motivated salesperson, right? Like don't fool yourself, because at some point, you're going to move on to something else. You need that conviction in this business to stay in long term. And like I always say, long-term games with long-term people, that's where you see a lot of success in this business, okay? I'll say this, you either believe in helping families or you don't. You'll either have the patience to see this business through or you won't. And when I see struggling agents out there in social media, within our agency, agents struggle because of the lack of conviction, and it bleeds into every single area of the business. All right, I'm going to go through a few of those right here. So how you deliver your presentation, let's talk through that. It's determined by your conviction in the product, okay? You can know your script inside and out, and your conviction will trump it all. Words are important. Don't get me wrong, what you say is very important, but conviction is more important. And that tonality that we always talk about comes from conviction. You need to be authentic in the way that you talk. People will feel it. You'll be a lot more confident. But you either have this conviction or you don't. And the agents who have it, they're going to help more families. Okay? So before you pick up the phone today or any day, check your conviction. In your head, tell yourself, you're going to protect some families today. And these families are going to try and put this off. And this is what your mission is, right? Your mission is to get them off of the back burner. You have that conviction to get them to purchase and take action to protect their families today. That's the conviction you need. You can't let them not do this. This is your mission. If you go into your call sessions and think about it in terms of making sales and earning commissions, you'll be much less effective when presenting and also in your activity. I saw a comment in our chat recently that says, I broke even for today. And to me, that's looking at this business the wrong way. All right. It's about helping families and carrying that conviction on the phone. And I think if that's the way that you're going throughout the business is, okay, I bought $500 in leads today, and commissions coming into my bank account are going to be around $600. I made about $100 today after advances and everything. That's not the right way to look at this. Yes, you need to look at this at some point in your business, but when you're going throughout the day, it's about helping families. And that needs to come through how you say what you say on the phone. All right. You can't really fake it. Elise in a previous video talked about tonality, and it's great. You have to have that tonality, but it needs to be authentic. And that comes from conviction in this business. So your presentation, the best presenters in this business really feel it. They've either had some life insurance affect their lives somehow. They've seen it work. Sometimes it takes you a while, right? It takes you a couple of death claims to really get that conviction in you. But once you do, and then you can use it and harness it and carry it throughout your day, you're going to be a much more profitable agent, okay? And it's going to be a much more fulfilling day for you when you're thinking about protecting families and not about earning commissions. Now, I know we need to make a living, and that all needs to come a part of it. We do need to look at our financials, but that's not what you should think about throughout the day. You need to have that core conviction just kind of brought up and be within you throughout the day. We talked about presentation, but even how you respond to objections, that's determined by your conviction, okay? Every call you're going to get objections, right? And many of you are going to completely roll over sometimes, okay? You'll get an objection and you'll roll over, or you're going to be robotic in your response. You'll have your objection handling sheet right in front of you, and you'll kind of read what it says. That's going to be a lot less effective than if you actually have the conviction, because when you have the conviction, you light up when you get an objection, right? Your belief is so strong that this person needs the coverage and they have a family they need to protect, that you'll do everything in your power to make sure that they take action. An objection should signal that it's the start of a new conversation. The conversation is taking a turn, right? It shouldn't end the conversation. It shouldn't make the conversation confrontational or uncomfortable. You shouldn't have that uncomfortable feeling when you get an objection or kind of roll your eyes, right? You do that if you're in it for the commission. But if you're in it, you have this conviction that you need to protect that family, you will respond to it, because if you have that strong conviction, you'll have that genuine concern, okay? That concern will come through, and it should feel like the start of a new conversation addressing that concern, because in your head, you're working out what the roadblocks would look like for your prospect in protecting their family, and you're responding with that in your mind. Like when you get an objection, okay, well, now this is going to happen to their wife they just talked about and their kids. Like that's what should go through your mind, okay? If that's not what's going through your mind, like that is something you need to work on, because the best way to sell is to get the emotional response out of your prospects, right? In order to do that, you need to have these hard conversations, and you need to have that conviction that they need to protect their families. And you can have your robotic responses and rebuttals that could extract emotion, but if you can feel it, that objection, for example, is going to become a new conversation. You just got brand new information about what's holding them back. That's a win right there. Okay, so it's a price thing, or they can't afford it right now, or they need to speak with their spouse, or whatever the heck it is, okay? You have that new information, and that new information is progress. You now know more about them, about why it's on the back burner, okay? That's the stuff that needs to be going through your head. If you have conviction, that's what goes through your head, okay? So this is likely as far as they've gone in the life insurance buying process, and they're on the phone with you. You need to feel that weight to protect that family, okay? An objection, you shouldn't roll your eyes internally. You shouldn't have that sort of feeling that, okay, well, they just don't get it. Or, oh, they can't afford it. Guys, everybody can afford this. If you're talking final expense life insurance, they're on a fixed income. It may be bad timing right now, and you can work through that, but everybody can afford this. And if they're on the phone with you, they need this coverage. If they don't purchase it from you today, they'll end up purchasing it somewhere else at some other point in time. You need to light that fire under. You need to have that conviction to push through and really feel it in that conversation. If you have the conviction, objection handling becomes working together to find a solution, because they want it, They have this concern, you uncover that concern, and you work through it together. It shouldn't be uncomfortable. It shouldn't be confrontational. It shouldn't be a robotic response that you have. One last thing here too is talked about presentation, talked about overcoming objections and how conviction can help that. But how you overcome sales slumps is a reflection of your conviction in this business. Let's talk through that. Every agent has sales slumps. Every salesperson in every industry has sales slumps. Every single time that an agent expresses their frustration in this business, when I look at it, I'll dig into some numbers. I look at their activity. 9 times out of 10, they're not doing what's required to be successful. And that comes from conviction, okay? They're not doing at least 200 dials or 4 hours of talk time a day. If I see an agent slumping in sales and they're doing at least 200 dials or have 4 hours of talk time a day, taking the amount of leads they need, yes, we can go in and diagnose other things further. Like they may be skipping the most important parts of their script, but usually it comes down to activity. But I get it. You're in a sales slump. You get down on yourself, kind of builds up, and you do less activity and you get further in your slump. You take less leads because you're on a cold streak. That is not what you do. If you have conviction in this business, you want to help as many families as possible. And to break out of a sales slump, you need to have that first sale, right? Which you'll have if you have that 4 hours of talk time or 200 dials a day, and you're pushing forward every single day. Your slumps won't be that long if you do that. And if you have conviction, if you have that weight throughout your day, you will get that 4 hours of talk time or 200 dials a day, okay? So I find a lot of agents who are in sales slumps, they try and do something that hurts them even more. Less activity, taking less leads until they break out of it. Or they're not even servicing their book of business or going after their NSFs, right? Or they're not interested leads. A lot of agents that are newer, maybe you have a few hundred leads and your call queue is cleared, but you didn't go back to your not interested leads or the people who you quoted that weren't interested. Guys, go back to those people. There's sales in those. In our call centers, we have second chance leads that we feed to our teams on our W-2 salary because it works. We know that if somebody didn't sell something, it could have just been a bad time for that person or a bad time of day or whatever it is, but we make sales on those all the time. But for some reason, independent agents, I don't know if you think you're too good to call your not interested leads or your leads that didn't pick up after your first 10 or 12 attempts. And you said, okay, they're not picking up the phone. Call them again in a few weeks, right? Start a new call campaign on those. If you have the conviction, you'll do the things you need to be successful. And that's what it takes to break out of those sales slumps. You got to keep the activity high. And I know it could be hard. Like mentally, it's hard if you're in a sales slump and you're having to spend lots of money on leads and you're not making many sales. I get it. I get that whole piece of it. But if you have that conviction in the business, it's a lot easier. And I'm not trying to say you guys should go out there and fake conviction. You either have it or you don't, okay? You sell at the level of your conviction in this business, okay? You sell at the level of your conviction in this business. Let that sit with you for a second. A lot of agents at the top of the leaderboards, they have the conviction in this business. They've seen the death claims. Something has happened to them personally. They've had so many conversations with people where, somebody passed away and they had to hear about what happened to their families when somebody passed away. They couldn't afford the funeral, just the financial strain it put on families. Like you'll hear those stories. And once you have those stories and they build up in you, that conviction should build up. But guys, you got to carry it throughout your day. Carry it throughout your calls. Before you get into your call sessions, remind yourself that you're here to help families and that they're going to try and put it on the back burner because they don't know the process. They don't know what it involves. And it's kind of this it's not a fun conversation to have, but you're having conversations, real conversations with people, and they're sharing stuff with you that they don't share with their close friends. You're asking them to say some things and, express some emotions that they don't typically do. Like that is a very important conversation to these people. Have that weight. Let it carry it with you throughout your day. Conviction in this business, it bleeds into every single area. And I want everybody to check their conviction. when you're going throughout your calls, when you're handling objections, how you respond to sales slumps. It's really about your level of conviction in this business. So I hope this helps some of you guys. I personally have a very high level of conviction in this business, and it's the reason why I'm here doing what I do. With the skills I personally have in marketing, sales, and leading a business, I could go to so many other industries. I love the life insurance industry. I love what it does for families, and I don't ever see myself leaving this business ever, because I have that strong conviction. And it's one of those things where when you have those conversations, and I had them early on in my career, it really catapulted me to really do as much as I can to get as much life insurance sold as possible. So, guys, conviction means a lot to me, and I hope that you understand how conviction can help your business. Okay?